What's going on, everybody? Whoa, we have some crazy news, some crazy action going on here in the boxing atmosphere with Jermall Charlo and Jose Benavidez Jr. exchanging crazy words at a virtual press conference for their upcoming 10-round fight. Check this out and more on Sports Social Live. Subscribe, like, share. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? It's Lance Hayes with Sports Social Live. Subscribe, like, share for boxing content and all sports in between. I try to get good things that I like and I think you will like. So right now we have some crazy information. Jermall Charlo and Jose Benavidez Jr. are set to fight on 25 November on the David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade card, or Andrade Andrade. It depends on where you're at. That's what he says. So under that card, it'll be a 10-round fight, 10-round catchweight fight at 163 pounds. This will be a good fight for me. It's a good match for both guys, kind of coming off a long layoff, and Jermall Charlo with the inactivity. I spoke about it in the previous video in my initial outlook for the card, but hey, this interview was crazy. And we'll get into that a little bit more. But I'll talk about each fighter before I get into that initial fight outlook and discuss a little bit more about the interview. So first up, we have Jermall Charlo, one of the Charlo twins, who is 32-0, the WBC middleweight champ. It's kind of hard to say WBC middleweight champ because he had taken a long layoff for a while, a 2-year layoff after the Montiel fight. And he has been inactive since. He faced some issues with life, mental health, and the other things. So salute to him for getting over those issues or working through those issues. But he's been inactive. As a Houston hometown fan, I do like the Charlo twins. I like what they do. I like their boxing. I'm slightly biased towards them, but it's biased for a hometown reason, and I always give my facts about how I feel. So I like the Charlo twins. I'm not opposed to him. I think Jermall, had he kept activity up, would have been in that Canelo race if he played it right politically, and he could have gave Canelo a run for his money sooner than he is now with having that inactivity. But nonetheless, he is coming back. He's going to fight this fight against Jose Benavidez Jr. at the catchweight level, and it should be a pretty good fight. I do like Charlo coming in this fight. I think he is rejuvenated. You see him in the gym. You see him working. He looks like he's in better shape. I thought he could have made the 160-pound weight, but age, time, and all those factors go in between. So hopefully he has his mental ready and coming into this fight and provides us with some good entertainment for this card. Going on to Jose Benavidez Jr. Jose Benavidez Jr. Hey, he was in Creed 3. Was it Creed? One of the Creeds. He balled out, got some money paid. He was good. He acted pretty decent in there, but ultimately took an L in there as well. So he is 28-2-1 coming into this fight. He's staying active. He's on his brother's card, so the whole family's getting paid. You have to give him the credit where credit is due. He is a professional fighter. I don't mind it. I don't mind seeing him. He's competing at the top level. Took some tough L's too. I think to an undisputed champion, so you can't really knock him for his losses. But ultimately, he is 2-1 in the loss and draw category. So him going against Jermall Charlo will be a good fight. It's a 10-round fight. It's kind of interesting that they chose a 10-round fight for both of them. Both of them had the issues. Jose Benavidez was shot previously before. It sucks for him, but him and Charlo bounced back after injuries, mental health and physical injuries. So going down to a quick fight outlook and just talking about the press conference. The press conference started off really it seemed like it took a minute and then they were into it. I don't mind what either one of those guys said in the virtual press conference, because if I was on the school bus, I would say the same thing. Charlo had said an insult that I would say. Benavidez said something that I would say. Benavidez mentioned Charlo's mental health. Hey, we're going at it. Schoolyard rules. I'm going back and forth with you. I'm going to give you the business. And they both went for the gusto. They both hit the low blows. And that's what I expect in talking trash. So you can't be mad at either fighter for doing that and talking the trash that they did in a virtual press conference. Hopefully they keep the same energy in the ring and are able to keep it in the ring and provide us with some good entertainment for fight fans. It adds to the card. It adds to the case for these promoters to make these cards with depth. So hopefully we can continue this little animosity and beef, keep it in the ring. Both fighters make it to the ring, and we get a good 10-round catchweight fight. I'm excited for them. But as far as the fight outlook is concerned, I see Jermall Charlo coming in here. I think he's going to jab his way to victory. He's going to take his time. He should take his time, jab his way to victory, and get the win. That's what Jermall Charlo should do. Jose Benavidez has to come in and switch up that game plan for Jermall. He can't fall off towards the end of the fight and get into that monotony that he tends to get into. So I think for Jermall, he has to come establish that jab and work. I don't see him coming in here going too crazy, but that could happen because he's trying to show and get the bigger fights. He's trying to move up to 168, and like he said, he wanted to take both Benavidez brothers out. So I think Jermall's game plan should be to come in and establish that jab early, consistent, score, get the victory, and go on. Get out of here with minimal injuries. Jose Benavidez should come in here. So Jose Benavidez, 28-2-1 is not terrible. I don't mind losing an O. So Jose Benavidez Jr., he can still get on some cards. He can still make money, especially with his brother being a cash cow. So for him, he needs to come in, be fan friendly, make the fight a competitive fight, get to the end. Hopefully the card falls his way. But ultimately, I see Jermall Charlo establishing that jab, scoring early and often towards the end of the fight. Hopefully, it's a 10-round fight, so Jermall Charlo and Benavidez should have some stamina to get to that end point. They're professional fighters. They've been doing this for a while, so we should see them make it to the end. Hopefully, that inactivity doesn't affect both fighters too much, but it probably will. Ring rust and both fighters' age is in the question here, right? You have Charlo at 33, I believe. He's getting up in age. I'm 34. It's hard to get up and do some things. I just had a knee surgery, so recovery and recuperation is a tough thing. But I ultimately see Jermall Charlo coming out and just establishing that jab and getting the victory. I don't necessarily think it's going to be as electrifying of a fight as the press conference. I think it's just going to be one of those fights where we see some scoring, methodical scoring, get into the cards. But we could be wrong. They have some animosity. They might start throwing them. Hopefully they do start throwing them. Hopefully we do get that action in this card. So subscribe, like, share. Tell me how you feel about either fighter. Tell me how you feel about that press conference. What was your funniest takeaway? Because I have a couple of them. The mental health joke, I don't like to joke about mental health, but if I was Benavidez, I would have said that. And if I was Charlo, I would have talked about you getting shot. I would have just made fun of all that stuff. Brian Custer's face in the middle of that interview was crazy to me. Like that, he was just like, "Hey, man," he couldn't get anything started. So I want to see how you feel about that interview. I was just like, "Damn," I was surprised. Tell me how you think about the interview. I'm Lance A, Sports Social Live. Subscribe, like, share for more football and boxing content. Check you out next time.